Om Namo Narayanaya. Sahana vavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karvavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu mavid vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Harihi Om. Suswagatam. We all are studying chapter number 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So we have understood from this beautiful and a most effective chapter what is the meaning of sannyasa. It is not renouncing the action and sitting somewhere in solitude. That's not the meaning of real sannyasa. What is the meaning of real sannyasa? One who, even though is doing his all actions required in life, but there is no doership in any of the action, that renouncing the doership and abiding in the self, it is real sannyasa. So that is attitude, the sannyasa attitude. One must understand this. And how is the vision? The vision of oneness. Everywhere the same self one can see. In every being the same self is there, and all beings are also in that self. This is the real vision of complete oneness. Arjuna had a question. What is that? Bhagavan, can you please tell me, what are the most important aspect to gain this knowledge, and by gaining the knowledge to gain that complete freedom which is called as the perfection, which is called as liberation, which is called as realization. Arjuna, why are you so in hurry? First, let us recap little. Bhagavan is telling, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kale natmani vindati. Verse number 38. Yesterday we have seen this. Let us just focus some more important aspect of this verse. Generally what happens in the life of seeker, after doing good sadhana, there comes a sort of situation, or there comes a time where the sadhak becomes very impatient. A seeker becomes very impatient and starts feeling, when can I get that experience? When shall I get that experience? I must get it now. This is the right time. So we all have to understand there is no such right time which you will decide or me. That means I will decide. Please understand, there is no such right time which you can decide or anyone as a being can decide when this seeker can get the experience of oneness. So what should I do? Bhagavan says, Kale Atmani Vindati. It will take its own time and no one knows except him and him alone what time this seeker will realize the true nature of oneself. What is an obstacle? Why this time is so long for the state of realization? So Bhagavan says now, this is the most important point. These are the important aspects that who can gain the knowledge and the experience of oneness, so called as what are the prerequisite qualification. Verse number 39. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Tatpara sanyatendriyaha. Tatpara sanyatendriyaha. Jnanam labdva param shantim. Jnanam labdva param shantim. Achirenadhigacchati. Achirenadhigacchati. What are the important aspects? The first important aspect Bhagavan tells to all of us to gain knowledge is Shraddha. What is called as Shraddha? Faith. How it is defined in our scriptures, Shraddha? Please note. Shastreshu Guruvakyeshu Sampurna Vishwasa iti Shraddha. Shastreshu, that means in the words of the scriptures as well as in the words of Guru, one who has complete trust. I am using this word trust, which is very important. Complete trust. Then when there is a complete trust, there cannot be a doubt at all. So when there is a lack of trust, there is always a doubt, even in the transactional world. Please note it. So Bhagavan has made it so clear, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. This is the most important aspect. How it is so important? If this question is asked, then the answer is, unless and until a Shraddha is there, whatever we listen, we do not actually have the right value for it. Why? Because a number of people keep saying a number of things. So everything we don't listen or we don't have a faith in it. Therefore, when we understand this is said from the scriptural standpoint and with authority somebody is telling, because that person has gained that experience, then I have to develop Shraddha. And Bhagavan said, how one can develop a Shraddha? By tuning one's own mind with the teacher. By tuning correctly one's own mind with the teacher. That is the right way to develop Shraddha. Another aspect of Shraddha is, this is an experience, one must understand, this is an experience. Unless and until you start associating with someone who has unshakable faith, till then our Shraddha does not grow. Please note it. Unshakable faith. So, this simple one statement, one must keep it in mind. Jaisa sang vaisa rang. This is a beautiful statement in Hindi. Jaisa sang vaisa rang. So, as your association, so you are. So, slowly, that Shraddha comes to our mind. And this, no one can try for that. I want to gain Shraddha by doing this action, that action. There is no such action in particular that which can gain you a Shraddha. So what is that? Surrender yourself at the feet of Guru and start associating with the teacher. Slowly, by right tuning of the mind, one can gain that Shraddha. Which Shraddha? Where? Now please note this. Shraddha means Shrad plus Dha. That is called as Srat. The meaning is one who has a faith. Faith in what? In the reality of that truth. In the reality of the truth. Truth exists. Supreme reality exists. You can give a name to it. God exists. This supreme reality, this truth, we can understand it as a God. One who has a complete faith in it. One who has an unshakable faith in this. That is called as Shraddha actually. So that one important aspect is complete trust over the presence of reality. Presence of reality. And that is called as Shraddha. Though today we may not have the experience of that reality, today we may not have the experience of that supreme truth, today we may not have that real experience of that God or oneness, but still one who has complete faith because of the right association, then such person will gain the knowledge. Bhagavan has declared it. Bhagavan, is this the only way or is this the only thing which is required? Because some may have a Shraddha. Now please understand this. Some may have a Shraddha, complete Shraddha, but efforts are very weak. Then what? Shraddha is complete, but efforts are not complete. Efforts are very weak. Then Bhagavan says, Tatparaha. How that person should be? Tatpara means most alert, very quick. Then one who is in search of that truth with complete passion. This is a word which is most effective in today's so-called as understanding. With complete passion. And that passion in spiritual context is called as mumukshutva. Intense desire to see the Lord. Intense desire to realize the truth. That is called as Tatparaha. Tatparaha. Another meaning is Tatpara is one who has understood the knowledge as information, and one who is very alert about one's own sadhana. One who is very much aware about one's own sadhana, and one who is very consistently with determination and patience take up his spiritual practice as the main or the primary goal of life. That is called as tatparaha. Now just see, Shraddhavan tatparaha, Sayyatendriya. With this also there is a requirement of complete control over all senses. Now when we say complete control over all senses, then there is always, for beginners, there is a doubt. How is it possible to have a complete control over the senses? Please understand, what is called as complete control over senses, when the mind is completely turned towards the supreme reality, completely turned towards the reality, then please understand, all senses automatically takes that path. Automatically takes that path. Example, like once someone is playing a sport. Take an example that if you are playing a cricket and now you are on the field and you have a batting now as your so-called as stance or duty or action. In front of you the bowler is running very fast and try to bowl to you. Now tell me, where is your mind, or where can be your mind, and where are your senses? The mind is completely focused on his hand, and that hand where the ball is. Yes or no? Yes. Now all senses are completely on the same one point and ready for the right action which is required. See, this is example. Another example, if a soldier is there who is on the LOC, that is called as the border, and if the war starts, now imagine one who has a gun in the hand, one whose mind is focused on enemy, what are his senses doing? Where are his senses? All senses are there and there alone. Another example, please note it. If a doctor is there who is in OT, operation theatre, who is doing a major operation of heart, whose mind is completely there, where are his senses? There and there alone. So please understand, this is required. How these senses are come into a control? Because when the mind is extremely focused, which is called as one-pointedness, then automatically all the senses take the same path. Bhagavan, can you please tell what is the outcome of all this? O Arjuna, from Janma Janmantar you are searching for what? Shanti. Oh, that's what I thought. Where is my that girlfriend Shanti? Where is she gone? Oh Arjuna, I am not talking about your girlfriend. I am talking about supreme peace, which is called as bliss. Jnanam labdva param shanti. Param shanti. How is that? When should I get it? How will I get it? Achirena adhigacchati. In no time you will get it. Now this is a connection. The moment one understands or realizes one's own true self, at that moment, without doing any action, the result of it is Param Shanti. What is called as Param Shanti, Bhagavan? Can you please throw some light on it? Arjuna, see, the mind which is ignorant is continuously in search of this peace and happiness. Think, continuously in search of peace and happiness, and therefore that mind is having this so-called as bhava, this sort of feeling which is called as incompleteness. And the moment one who realizes the truth, that same moment this feeling of incompleteness get completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. The moment that incompleteness goes away, there is supreme happiness which flows in all corner of the mind and intellect, and also to every corner of this BMI. And therefore, that experience of peace is beyond the word power. Another one example we can quote, like if somebody asks you, can you please tell me how deep did you sleep yesterday? What was your experience of quietude? Please tell us. How will you tell, my dear? How will you measure it? Please let me know, tell you. My experience was 40%. My experience was 50%. No one can express in so-called as terms of percentage or in terms of quality or whatever. Why? Because when you are there, then that is called as ultimate, and it is not the experience because of some object or because of anything which is called as worldly thing, which is called as worldly entity. The experience is of one's own true nature, and that true nature is without quality, which does not have this sort of nature which can be experienced through our senses. So therefore it is beyond Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Please understand, these are the 5 important aspects. This experience is beyond that, and therefore senses can't reach there. It is only abiding in the self. One who can abide in the self, that alone can experience. That alone can experience. And a very simple example is that Shastra explains, if you eat sugar, now tell what sugar's sweetness is. Explain it. You know, the sugar sweetness is sweet. Now, is sweet, that's all. Can you explain it in terms of something Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha? No, it is only one and one, which is called as taste, which is there, and that's how it is said it is sweet. Similarly, this experience of oneness is beyond the senses, and therefore it cannot be said like this, like that. Bhagavan, now can you please explain that if somebody does not have Shraddha, and if somebody has a doubt, what is the outcome? Can you please tell us? Because then we will be more prepared. Bhagavan says, now a very, very, very important thing, that the result of such lack of faith and doubt is what? Verse number 40. Adnyascha shraddhadanascha Adnyascha shraddhadanascha Sanshayatma vinashyati Nayam lokosti na paraha Nayam lokosti na paraha Na sukham samshayatmanaha Na sukham samshayatmanaha. Please note now. You may write it down, because one must know what is the result of ashraddha, lack of faith or no faith. Okay, first, adnyascha, that means one who is ignorant. What is his fate? Bhagavan says, adnyascha vinashyati. Ignorant person will perish. Now I will explain it, just wait. One statement, let me just make you more clear. Adnyascha vinashyati. Then ashraddhadana vinashyati. Second statement. Third, samshayatma vinashyati. So one who is ignorant will perish. One who does not have faith will perish. And one who has a doubt will also perish. Oh my God. So Bhagavan, it is really scary. Better not to walk on this path, because if somehow the doubt comes, you are telling I will perish. I will get destroyed. Oh Arjuna. Oh Krishna. Acha. What is meant by perish? Please understand this. But let me complete the next line also. Nayam lokosti na paraha na sukham samshayatmanaha. This one who is having no knowledge, no shraddha and doubts, for such person Bhagavan says, na ayam lokaha, not in this world, na paraha, not in any other world, what? Sukham na asti. That sukham, which is called as Atma Sukham, please note this. Sukham here is not mentioned because of the object. Rasogulla. You know Swamiji, nowadays there is a Novin Good in Chittaranjan Park area. So, that's called as mini Bengal of the Delhi. And there you get this Rasagulla made of that good, Novin Good. Do you know the taste of it? You just keep telling Atma Sukham, Atma Sukham. No one can compare with this Rasagulla. My God. Please understand, this is not something called as a sukha, which is called as joy because of any object of the world. This sukham is called as Atma Sukham, which is called as experience of one's own self. Okay. So, where is the sukham? So, Bhagavan has completely described here, unless and until one gains the experience of one's own true self, there cannot be the experience of total happiness devoid of any sort of incompleteness. There is no incompleteness remains henceforth. It's devoid of incompleteness. It is all complete of its own, and it is forever. Okay. Now, let us just explain this, what is called as perish. So please understand, Bhagavan has explained in chapter number 2, where he says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshopajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohat Smruti Vibramaha Smrutir Brahmshat Buddhi Nashaha Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. Now what is this Buddhi Nasha? Called as Anatmani Atma Buddhi. What is called as this Pranashyati, Vinashyati, Anatmani Atma Buddhi? One whose intellect is stuck up in anatma, called as not self, as a self. Such person cannot experience that supreme bliss at all. And then what? Then there is always a search that I want it, but not knowing where it is. This person continuously struggling in his life to get happiness through object. Now understand, every object is limited. His senses power is limited, and therefore by doing any action, this person fails to gain that happiness, which is called as supreme happiness. One day this person gets completely bugged up. One day this person gets completely depressed that no, now I am at the verge of ending my life, but I haven't got what? Oh Swamiji, what I wanted to get. That's how it is. Then Punarapi Jananam Punarapi Maranam Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam Iha Sansare Bahudustare Krupaya Pare Pahi Murare Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Bhagavan says, Pranashyati is one who has this wrong notion. What is that? Anatmani Atma Buddhi. And with that, this person wants every object to possess it. And when he cannot do so, then there is an anger. And then there is an anger. There is all so-called as indiscrimination, which is called as aviveka. With that aviveka, what happens? All sort of whatever memory, the knowledge, they get completely sidetracked. And then there is only and only object, which overpowers the mind and intellect. And therefore, this mind and intellect ends the journey of this life one day by continuing the ignorance. And this is called as perish. That one who has the capacity to earn that supreme happiness, but he has lost his chance because of his ignorance, because of his ashraddha, because of his doubts towards the reality. Bhagavan, no, I don't want that. Please tell me, what should I do? Arjuna, what are you asking? Since the beginning I'm telling you, no, please tell me now, what should I do? Okay, Arjuna, verse number 41. Yoga sanyasya karmanam. Yoga sanyasya karmanam. Jnana satchinna samshayam. Jnana satchinna samshayam. Atmavantam na karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, O Arjuna, O Lord, tell me what? Yoga sanyasya karmanam. One who has renounced all his action by yoga. Now please understand this is one who has renounced his action by right attitude of yoga. So 3 important points one must remember here. For the beginners, it is karma yoga, called as selfless action. Then the next step is removing all attachment towards the action, towards the objects, towards any situation of the world. Then remove all attachment to all the results of action. Then gain the purity. Okay. Having got the purity, sit at the feet of Guru and serve his feet. Then whatever is ignorance and wrong notions are there, you can express at the feet of your Guru. Your Guru will guide you, and then having taken up his guidance, listening, reflecting and meditating, you will cross over this ignorance. Then that is called as establishing in the self-knowledge. Which self-knowledge? Karmani akarmaya pashet akarmani cha karmayaha. Then for that advanced seeker, one who has transcended this BMI, which yoga? This yoga, karmani akarmaya pashet. That is called as jnana yoga. Bhagavan, can you please tell how is it possible? Jnana satchinna samshayaha, with the experience of the self. All ignorance go away. All doubts get completely washed away. And then Upanishad says, Bhidyate rudaya granthi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin trushte paravare. All the knots of the heart get completely destroyed. Why? Because of the destruction of the ignorance. All the doubts, whichever possible doubts, gets completely washed away, annihilated. Kshiyante chasya karmani. All the karmas, what? That which is called as sanchita karma, let there be as big as possible. All will get destroyed. And all agami karmas also will get destroyed. That's how this person. Now, how is that person? Bhagavan says, Atmavanta. Now, this is called as the sadhana which is said. Arjuna asked, what should I do? Atmavantam. Here, Atmavantam, from one standpoint, one who is continuously striving to gain that oneness with the self, with complete alertness, with complete awareness. Atmavantam. So that is one important aspect. Another, one who is established in the self. Such person, even if he does actions on this transactional level for loka sangraham evapi, for the betterment of the mankind, this person will never get any sort of bondage in his life. So therefore, complete faith and complete what? Knowledge. Then what is the experience and what is the state? Therefore, O Arjuna, verse number 42, Tasmat ajnana sambhutam rustam jnana sinatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yoga atishto tishta bharata atishto bharata Om tatsat idi Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishads Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Chaturthodhyaya Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Bhagavan says, Hey Bharata, hey Arjuna, Tasmat. Bhagavan, your Tasmat is very scary, very fearful. Whenever you say Tasmat, I get shiver all over my body. Bhagavan says, that's what I use this word, Tasmat. Therefore, Arjun, therefore what? Therefore, if you want to gain this oneness as an experience, which is called as first-hand experience, then what should I do? Enam samshayam chitva. One has to destroy all the doubts of the mind. Rustam, in the heart. Ajnana sambhutam, from the knowledge. Atmanaha. That experience one should gain. Which experience? That experience of oneness. How should I get it? Jnana asina. That is called as with the sword of knowledge. What should I do? Destroy all the doubts. That is called as chitvainam samshayam. By the sword of the knowledge, destroy all your doubts. And then what should I do? Yoga atishtaha. What? Then take a refuge in that jnana yoga. Therefore, what therefore? Uttishta. Therefore, get up, wake up, and walk the path of the truth. All instructions of Bhagavan are so superb, are so clear, are so what I can use, are so perfect, to reach to this complete state of realization. Now here Bhagavan said, therefore Arjuna, Atmavantam Bhava. There also in the second chapter he said, Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nitya Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. This is very important. Niryogakshema Atmavan. One has to completely take up this path of spirituality with that passion which is called as mumukshutvam, intense desire for the liberation. And then all the blessings of Guru, all the grace of Bhagavan flows to this seeker to get that experience of oneness. Let us contemplate over these beautiful instructions of Bhagavan. Wherever you are, take a posture and sit firm. Let your back and neck be straight. Let your facial expression be pleasant. Let us focus 1 minute on our own breathing process to attain good concentration, one-pointedness. Turn your attention now toward that indications of Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. One who is having a complete faith in the words of Guru and Shastra, that person will gain the knowledge. Tat paraha, one who is alert, one who is passionate, one who is having intense desire for realization, one who has this faith in supreme reality, in the supreme truth, that's Bhagavan, Almighty, Lord of the universe. With right self-effort, mind focus completely on the goal, which is a supreme goal. All the senses are under control. All the senses are absolutely under control because of the complete attention towards the self. This person, jnanam labdhva, param shanti achirenati gacchati. It does not take long time. Once someone gains the knowledge, at that moment, he gains that experience of oneness with the self. But if someone does not have that faith, if someone is completely drowned in ignorance, with a number of doubt, Bhagavan says, Adnyascha vinashyati. Ignorant person will perish. Ashraddha Van Purusha will perish. Samshayatma vinashyati. What is called as this person will perish? One whose intellect is stuck up in anatmani atma buddhi. He who sees and who believes anatma as atma. That means one who is giving reality to things and beings of the world. Understand, everything is illusory. Therefore, never should have anatmani atma buddhi. With right discrimination power, understand the nityam and anityam. Nitya vastu. Ekam brahma tadvyatiriktam sarvam anityamiti. That self, that Atma, that Paramatma, that Brahma, alone is permanent. Rest everything is all impermanent, illusory. For this, one must get connected to the right practice of yoga. First, one should purify one's own mind. Take refuge at the feet of the Guru. Do right service. Listen to the instructions. Reflect and meditate over the words of the Scriptures and realize the self by the grace of God and by the blessings of Guru. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.
Om Namo Narayana